Hey there, I'm Mysca, and this is a full guide to all of the perks in Black Ops 4 Blackout. I'm gonna be listing every single one of them and give a quick description of them as well to give you an idea of how they work so you don't have to find out the hard way. Anyway, let's get started with the perks. They will have a use time, which is the time it takes to actually use the perk and get it activated, and a duration, which is just the duration of the perk. First one on the list, Consumer. Reduces use time of health and consumable items by 50%. Use time 1 second, duration 300 seconds. Actually not that bad of a perk. I see myself using it quite a lot of the time just early on into games when I want to pop a few perks or when I have a few saved up in my inventory for late game. So yeah, not that bad actually. Next up, SKULKER. Move faster while crouched and prone. Use time 3 seconds, duration 180 seconds. This is probably one of my favorite perks. I really like this because when you're crouched and moving around, you're actually pretty fast, as you can see in the video. It goes well together with some other perks that we'll get to in just a second as well, but this one is worth picking up. Speaking of what it's good with, awareness. Enemy footsteps are louder. Use time 2 seconds, duration 120 seconds. This is a great perk. Enemy footsteps really are a whole lot louder, sometimes so loud that you think that they're next to you. I would still like them to work on the audio a little bit in this game. Sometimes when people are above you, like a floor above you in a building, then it's kind of hard to figure out where exactly they are. And this perk doesn't really make that easier either. But a great perk. As you can see in the video, I start hearing a lot of people, and I'm actually able to pick up quite a few kills just because of this perk, and this happens all the time. Awareness, great perk. There's a reason as to why the duration is kind of low on this one. Among the top for sure. Yet another one with a similar theme, Dead Silence. Move quietly, make less noise when opening stashes. Stashes, of course, being random boxes you can find with weapons and other things, and when you open them they normally make quite a lot of noise. Use time 2 seconds, duration 240 seconds. This is probably my top perk. I use it quite a lot, and as you can see in the video example that you're watching as well, he had no idea. Oh man. People just really can't hear you. It's really hard to hear someone unless they are running at full speed for quite a while with Dead Silence. But when you are crouching, so if you use it together with SKULKER for example, you are near impossible to hear and you're very, very quiet, and it just works so well. I was kind of surprised by this. I didn't think it would be this good. When I looked at all the perks, I thought that this would be one of the top ones, but not this good. Always worth picking up. I pretty much always have one in my inventory. Sometimes I even go out of my way in a difficult situation to actually get this perk. Number 1 on my list without a doubt. Next, Looter. Reveals nearby stashes and loot items. Use time 3 seconds, duration 120 seconds. Actually a pretty solid perk. If you find it early on, obviously it's a whole lot better. You get a lot more value from it if you find it soon after you've actually dropped and landed. But either way, pretty good perk, worth picking up, worth using, especially early on. Next, Engineer. Reveals nearby vehicles and enemy equipment. Use time 2 seconds, duration 240 seconds. This is a pretty decent one, but it's a little bit more situational. You can also see that enemies are on a vehicle and driving around, with the vehicle being red instead when it's moving around, as you can see in the video example once again. But yeah, pretty solid one, just a little bit more situational. Next, Mobility. Move and swap weapons faster. Take no fall damage, fire weapons and use equipment while sprinting, only hip fire. Move faster when reloading. Use time 1 second, duration 300 seconds. Pretty decent one. I don't find myself using this one as much as I would almost like to, honestly. I do like the swap weapons faster part of this though, but taking no fall damage from the really big heights, you can just wingsuit anyway, and then from other ones you can most of the time make your way down in safe ways anyway, so it's not too big of a deal. Fire weapons and use equipment while sprinting can be good, but mostly for grenades as you can only hip fire. Decent one though. Next, Medic. Heal faster and revive faster. Healing items restore more health. Downed allies are revived with increased health. Use time 2 seconds, duration 240. This one is probably better in duos and quads. I play mostly solos right now, but we'll probably move into duos more later on. Would definitely say the value is higher due to having teammates that can be revived if you're in a bigger group. But yeah, really not a bad one, just not really among the top, sort of in the middle of the list in terms of value. Paranoia. Receive an audible alert when an enemy is targeting you while in ADS. Use time 2 seconds, duration 240 seconds. This one looks great on paper. I thought this was going to be among the top. I thought this was pretty crazy when I first read it before the beta was out, but honestly, it's turned out to be a disappointment in my opinion. I've not gotten a whole lot of use out of it. I've stopped picking it up in certain cases. Don't really like it. Might be more of a situational thing. Maybe you know someone that's gotten value out of this, but I sure don't. It definitely works. It's just hard to actually find value in it. Iron Lungs is next on the list, increases steady time on sniper and tactical rifles and breath time underwater. Use time 2 seconds, duration 300 seconds. Really not a bad perk, a little bit more situational, but if you like snipers a lot, then great, use this. The increased time is actually really good for that steady time. Breath time underwater could also be useful, but yeah, I haven't used it as much because I can't really snipe on PS4 that well. I'm a PC player. Not a bad perk though, could be worth picking up and holding on to if you like sniping. Next, Brawler. Increases melee damage, gain 50 health per each successful melee attack. Use time 1 second, duration 240 seconds. This is a real disappointment and probably the worst perk in the game. It's definitely dumpster tier and I don't even pick it up. I so rarely run into fistfights ever because there's just so much loot in this game. Maybe if the loot is reduced at some point this one might be better, but honestly as of right now it's just really not a good one. It already takes quite a few melee hits to actually kill someone, so even with this perk it will probably still be at least 3 hits. Just really not that great. Next perk, Reinforced. Reduces damage from explosions and fire. Increased resistance to flashbang, concussion and razor wire. Use time 3 seconds, duration 240 seconds. I didn't actually even manage to capture gameplay of me getting value from this perk. I do sometimes have it in my inventory if I have some extra space. Can be nice for later circles when people tend to use equipment a little bit more. Really not in the top of perks, somewhere in the middle of the list I would say. Maybe towards the lower middle even. And last but not least, Outlander. Reduces damage and increases movement speed outside collapse. Use time 2 seconds, duration 180 seconds. One thing I would say for this straight away is that this perk is only really useful later on into sort of mid to late game collapses. So if you're outside that circle then and you're taking damage, then the damage will actually be reduced a decent amount, but before then you don't even get too much value out of it because first aids are so easy to find if you will actually take any of that small tick damage at the start. Not a great perk, I don't really pick it up too much. If I have an extra slot and I know that the collapse is coming in though, then sometimes I'll just pick it up and use it straight away. But yeah, not really in the top. I feel like the duration should be a bit longer on this one if it should actually be good. But I guess they don't want to encourage people being outside that circle too. But yeah, not in the top, very situational. And those are all of the perks currently in Black Ops 4 Blackout and a quick description of every single one of them. Let me know what you thought of this video. It took me a little while to put together. Please do leave a like if you found this helpful. And even when I was recording stuff in this video and it just used up like 8 perks or something like that at the same time, I actually got to like 3rd place or something along those lines with just a really trash gun by walking up behind people super late game because they just couldn't hear me. I was going around so fast. I could see vehicles through hills and everything. It's pretty cool. Perks can really do a lot. Make sure to use them. Can really squeeze some value out of some of these. Also, just real quick, an equipment's guide going through every single grenade, throwable, whatever you can imagine that's equipment in this game is going to be up as well. Just click the video in the middle of the screen if you want to watch that too. Thank you very much for watching. Once again, leave a like if you found it helpful and please put any comment below of how I can make better videos. I read all the comments and that's it. Thank you once again for watching. If you want more Blackout videos then just press subscribe and I'll see you next time.